Welcome back to the Shelf Sisters. Happy July, happy Bookish episode to us. This is an audio only episode in case you are looking for the video. And we posted that on our story, just explaining that we had a ton of unforeseen circumstances. Sehrish, would you like to explain what those are?
Should I start with the fact that I feel fugly?
You definitely can. And I will say crazily enough, that's like the lowest on the list. Like
that is the lowest on the list.
There's so much going on. One being that I have a water leak in my apartment currently. And every single day there's like 7 people in my apartment. I cannot get ready. I can't even like shower just properly without being scared that something is going to go wrong or someone's going to walk in. It's just been wild.
No,
I got a rash like 2 days ago.
You went to the dermatologist an hour before this episode.
Literally.
Yeah. So there's lots happening. And for that reason, we were like, let's just do audio only because we want to prioritize episodes every other week. So we'd rather be on time than not do one. So this is what you're going to get. This is what you're going to get. And let me just say, it is so nice to be an audio only episode because I'm sitting crisscross applesauce right now in my sweat.
Do that too.
I am so comfortable, and this is probably what podcasting was like maybe 4 years ago when everyone was only doing audio. Why did we never stick to that?
It's so beautiful.
Who started the video trend? Can I speak with them?
I didn't have to get out my Dyson. I didn't have to worry about my outfit. I didn't have to take a shower after being outside for 10 minutes, which I would have done had we had video this time.
Yes. Okay. Well, that's enough complaining because you know what? We have lots to be thankful for.
Yes.
And even though we're audio only today, I think we have a great episode for you guys because there's been a lot more people following us on Instagram and then listening to episodes. So we thought that we would do a recap episode from like our very first one, introduce ourselves, kind of talk through our reading trajectory and just like how we like to read, what we like to read. And then we'll go over what our July book is because we should be reading that right now. And do everything else that we're reading and just like things in life. Does that sound good?
Yeah. I just like for this one, since we got some new listeners, we were like, let's reintroduce ourselves. Like maybe some people don't even know that we're sisters, you know?
I know.
So
the title should give it away, but
that's true.
Yeah. But I agree.
Yes. But let's start out by announcing our July book, which, by the way, we did already do on our Instagram. So if you follow us on there, you should
Shelf
have
Sisters
seen it already.
Podcast.
Yes. Sehrish, would you like to announce our July book?
Yes. Oh my gosh. Drum roll. Usually we do a drum roll on video. But we are going to be reading 28 Summers by Elin Hilderbrand. We have not picked like a life-ish book in the last like 11 months that we've been reading.
Yeah, it's always like
book club.
Just romance or thriller or mystery.
Yeah.
Like, but we haven't picked a fiction, just an overall fiction book that I think encompasses like just regular fictional life, you know?
And if you don't know about Elin Hilderbrand, we were speaking about this in
where
our
you
last
at?
episode.
Where you at, girl?
I know. Exactly, yes. Where are you at? But also she is the most, I think, famous like summer writer that I know of. And she does really good like Northeastern reads. So a lot of her books are based on Nantucket and just like families in that area. And this one specifically spans across like decades. So it's like a love story of sorts across decades, but then they bring in like real life with children and such. So yes, this is more of like a life-ish story spanning across decades, and I'm excited. I think this is like a departure for what we usually read, especially with the book club. So I'm excited.
Yeah, and we needed a mix because I think the last 2 months we did romance, right? And that was good, but I think after the last one, we both were kind of, I don't want to say over it, but we're like, we need to, spice it up.
Some substance,
yes.
just a little
We need to spice it up, but also tone down on the spice, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, if you know,
and
you know.
I've had this book on my TBR for seriously so long. I never picked it up.
You know what? It was released in 21 and it went, I think 2021, and it was so popular because I think all of her books are, and The Perfect Couple I think the book that she wrote before this one was turned into a Netflix special,
which was
with
so
good, which you didn't read, but you
No,
watched,
the
right?
Netflix special
Okay,
was so
yeah.
good, or the series was so good.
No, the series was great, and so was the book. And I think this one's being turned into a book or a TV show.
Is it?
I thought so. I thought I read that. So I think it's the perfect
Honestly,
timing.
it's not surprising because everything is being turned into
everything.
one.
Yeah. So if you've been listening along for like the last few Bookish episodes, there are so many TV adaptations from books. So this might just be one.
And you know what? Like
many.
scrolling our Bookstagram, I'm seeing so many more too. So then I keep
know.
thinking, okay, should we do like a part 3, part 4? But then where
We're
does it
just-
end?
It
So
doesn't
if
end.
you-
It's going to keep going.
That's true. So if you do want more of that, we
Mhm.
have plenty to go around.
Right.
So just let us
Yeah.
know. We shall continue.
Okay, well, this is a perfect segue of explaining like what our book club is about and just like quickly about us. So Saanya, introduce yourself.
Oh my gosh. Well, obviously, I'm Saanya. We are sisters. I love to read. We started this because we were just always like chatting about book things all the time. And even now, after we have a podcast, like every time Sehrish tells me I started a book, I get so giddy. Like, tell me everything.
And then I'm like, save it for the pod.
But I just love talking books. I started reading when I was like super young, like elementary, middle school, but it was like to the point where I remember my mom had to literally, I wouldn't see her until like 3 p.m. because I would like wake up finishing my book from the night before.
Yeah, over the
And-
summers, she means.
Yeah. And my mom would have to text me and be like, you need to come downstairs and eat and show your face to the family. So I've always been obsessed. I took a little break during college and then picked it back up with a vengeance. And yeah, I'm, you
Never
know,
looked back.
never looked back. And I got a Kindle as a gift from my husband, and that changed my life in the best way possible. Like, seriously, one of the best
No, I'm
gifts
sure
I've
he
ever
regrets
gotten.
it, but it's
He
fine.
regrets it so hard,
Major, yeah.
but I am obsessed. And I love it. Like, I finish a book at midnight and start another one at 12:01.
No,
So
of
what's not
course,
to
of
love?
course. Well, I love that. But yeah, you guys, I am Sehrish, Sanya's sister. And like Saanya said, we honestly just started the podcast because we were always just talking about what we're reading, what we're excited to read. So we're
Giving
just
book recs to each other that we
each
both
other.
love. And we're like,
Yes.
we need to give our knowledge to the
everyone
people,
else,
you
and
know,
I feel
to
like
the
it's
readers.
so fun.
Yeah.
And now that we have this like small community of readers on our Instagram and TikTok, it's so fun to see like other people reading and getting recs from them. I love this like little
And-
reading community, which it's gotten so much more popular, so it's even better.
Yeah, and I love like whenever we post our books every single month, we always get messages from people that have already read the book saying, "Oh my god, like I liked this one," or "Oh my god, like didn't love it, but like can't wait to hear, you know, what you guys think."
Yeah, and it's such a personal choice of like what you enjoy.
It is so hard because
personal.
we try to encompass everything. The problem is some people, like, they'll always ask me, you know, what are you guys choosing for the next month? And then let's say I say romance, and then people who love thrillers are like, okay, but like, what
know.
about a thriller? And then whenever we choose thrillers, like 2 or 3 times in a row, they're like, well, what about historical fiction? I'm like, there's so
much. And
different
honestly,
genres.
it goes in waves of like what you're interested in. So like Sunny said, she started reading very early on. And I would say I got more into reading like in high school, but I took a break during college because I was like a science major and like literally looking at another
No,
book like
thanks.
after my textbooks. Like I was not into it. Like, no, thank you. And then got back into it so wildly like during COVID.
Yeah.
I started off with the book Before We Were Strangers during COVID one night. I think I started it at like 10 p.m. I don't think I stopped reading till 4 a.m. when I was done with the book. So
oh my God.
from then on, it's just like I've been hooked. So it hasn't really stopped. So thank you, COVID, for giving me something that I enjoy. With all the bad stuff came me reading. So
Yeah.
yeah.
And I will say, like, what you were saying, it goes in waves. It's so true. Whenever
Right.
I first read, like, in elementary, middle school, you could not catch me reading a romance. Like, what is that? I only read mystery books. Like,
yeah.
Goosebumps.
But
And
that's
there was, like,
what
another.
was popular because
No, but there were other ones, too. Like, I remember I had a friend who read And not to say that like the series that she read was like fully romance, but it was kind of like in that genre, like whenever we were younger. And she told me to read it, and I was like, what is this? Like, I seriously could. And the cover of it was like a girl on a bike, and it was like during the summer. I was like, that's so not my vibe. Give me goosebumps. Like, I want to be scared. I want to be freaked out a little bit.
No, I was like into the sad ones, like the
Oh my
series
God,
of
I hate
unfortunate
that book.
events, like that they eventually made into movies.
Or like orphans. And
Yeah,
stuff.
I know. I don't know why I was reading that, but I read that series, and then in high school, or it's my senior year, I read A Girl with a Pearl Earring, like the famous painting one. Got fully hooked, and then
I read that book after you, and I was like, I am definitely way too young to be reading this book. The fact that I finished that book, I want to say, like, do you remember what grade you read it in? Was it like 8th grade or something? Or
no,
high school?
It was high school, and I thought it was senior year, but no, because it wasn't this summer. So probably 10th grade going into 11th.
Okay, so that means I was like in 8th grade reading Girl with a Pearl Earring.
No.
Imagine.
Yeah, no, okay, I'm sorry. Well, we did. This is so funny. We should go back to our parents' office because all of our books are still there.
Yeah.
That should be a TikTok. We like go through the books there. But yeah, so that's honestly why we started the podcast, and it's now been like 11-ish months. And I think our audience is growing. So if you guys have more questions for us, we would love to discuss them. But really quickly, we have some, we
have some, just to like get the conversation going so you guys can understand our bookish habits, because everyone has different ones. So first one, what is your favorite genre? Which I think we kind of went over, but let's say
I think it changes. I think right now I'm in my historical fiction, like more learning.
I recall those days.
That's the era that I'm in right now.
Okay. Right. Oh, this is so hard. Well, my top 2 are romance and thriller.
Okay.
Mystery/thriller. Can I include that in there? Okay. It really just like varies for me. And even within like romance, like I read a good amount of like dark romance, like that's what they call it, where there's like violence in the book. So yeah, like I would say that encompasses like 80% of my reading.
Yeah. No, that's fair.
Yeah.
I would say that.
Who is your favorite author?
Okay, I don't think I have a favorite. I think I have ones that I prefer. And then I don't think there's anyone I like despise. Like I don't think there's anyone that I will look at their name and be like, I can't read this book because I do not love this author. But we always talk about Serafina Novaglass. We always talk about Emily Henry because we picked a lot of books by her. Beach read like being our top choice from her. But I don't think I have a favorite. I don't discriminate.
Okay, you just said my top 2, Emily Henry and Seraphina.
Oh my God.
And by the way, that's, I think, my same answer from when we first asked each other that question.
And I have the exact same answer as well. Yeah. It hasn't changed.
Yeah, I love them both. And every time they come out with which by the way, Seraphina Novaglass did come out with a book, so maybe that should be our like August.
Oh,
because it's like going into the fall, so we can have a little bit of a thriller.
Yes. Okay.
I want to say it's called like Vacancy in Room 10, but that might be one of her old ones. Let me figure it out.
I just love it. Okay,
see.
Cool.
How often do you read?
Okay, so again, this is something that changes a lot depending on like life stage and just like what's happening. But I think at least like 3 to 4 times a week.
That's good. I thought you were gonna say less.
Yeah, no, I think like at least 3 to 4 times a week right now.
Yeah, I read almost every single day unless something is like going on to where I don't have time or something. Like I just went to Austin and I was so exhausted every single night that I didn't even turn my Kindle on. I just would pass out.
Right.
But I read almost every single day.
Oh my gosh.
And then do you prefer physical books or ebooks? LOL at my Kindle love letter earlier.
I got a Kindle like during COVID, and so I have never looked back. Like I have physical books, like I'm just never touching them.
I can't.
I
have physical books, and I literally bought the like Kindle version to read it on my Kindle.
Yeah.
What was this for? It was for, I want to say 2 books. There's one called The Cruel Prince or something. It was like a fantasy. And then there was one other book. I can't remember, but I literally bought them like a while back. I want to say during COVID. I've had them on my bookshelf for a long time. And I was like, finally, like, I need to read these. And I literally just went on my Kindle and bought them because I was like, there's no freaking way I can hold this physical book
it's too
with
hard
a
to
lamp
read.
on
Yeah,
and read at night. Like, it's impossible.
No.
You're asking for too much
Kindle.
from me.
Kindle.
And I don't know if this is like old age or what. Which, by the way, if you're just like listening for that, I'm not old. I don't want to say my age, but
Just go to
I'm not
our
old.
Instagram, you'll see.
But now whenever I pick up physical books, the font is so
small. I know.
So tiny. I'm like, okay, I know my vision isn't great, but what is going on?
I know. I didn't even think about that. My Kindle font is the largest Kindle font that they have.
I can't
and
even
it's on
imagine
dark mode,
20 years from
and
now.
my eyes are so sensitive. Like,
Do you know what your font is at? I want to say my Kindle font is at 9.
9? It's whatever the largest one is.
Yours is not the largest one because the largest one is like actually like 2 words on the page.
Oh, no. Okay. I don't know. I don't know what it is.
I think yours is probably like, I think yours is 1 more than mine actually.
Okay, so probably like a 10. Okay. Yeah. LOL.
It's so crazy. Like, that's another reason why I can't read the physical books. My eyes are like glazing over.
I didn't even think about that because I have not touched a physical book in so long.
Oh my God, what did I picked up Verity.
In a physical book?
In a physical book. I read the first page and then I can't remember what I was like, I have to go on my Kindle. But then I saw something else on my Kindle to start instead of Verity. But by the way, right now, I'm pretty sure Verity is on Kindle Unlimited. And so I downloaded it. So I have it. And I will. Oh, yeah.
Saanya is like the 2% of
people that haven't read Verity.
Yeah.
Which is so crazy. I can't even tell you. Actually, I can't tell you why I did it.
Why?
Whenever I first started reading, like as an adult, there would be books where people, and as soon as I started reading, like I was on Bookstagram before Book Talk was even a thing.
Yeah.
And there were certain books that people would hype up so crazily. And then I would have to think like, okay, I need to wait until I have a few days of nothing going on so I can fully enjoy this book that everyone is loving.
Yeah.
And then I would hold off for so long that it just got to a point where it just got like too big for its britches. Like for me to just like read, just like pick it up and read, you know?
No, and you have to be in the right stage to be reading it. So like if it was like a romance or like a beachy like a read, I'm not reading it like during the week. I'm going to ruin that time in the book for myself.
Literally one book, I want to say by Christina Lauren, they had released a summer book kind of late in like August or something. And I had like 2 books lined up and it literally started getting chilly. I was like, I'm done. No, I can't read this until next summer. No, I know. That's how we work, by the way. I know. This isn't one of the questions, but we are very, what's the word?
Seasonal readers.
Seasonal readers.
And I hope there's other people like us because I think we take it to the extreme.
Yes. And like for Christmas, okay, for Halloween, starting in September, I'm reading like thrillers, witchy books.
I agree.
Anything that's
I don't read
folly.
witchy books, but like thrillers, I am down for like starting September. That's what it is.
November 1st, I solely read Christmas books until January 1st.
So that's where I get
you lose
a little.
Me.
I don't lose you, but all the Christmas books are so cringy. I need to make a list this Christmas that is non-cringy holiday books.
By the way, I did make that list.
But no, they were still cringy. Like they were cringy.
I think
they were great
bar for the cringe in Christmas, like really goes so low.
Yes.
Because I love it so much.
Yeah.
And that's probably why, because like one thing, if you don't know, like me and Sehrish cannot stand a cringy book. And
oh my God.
Like I hear people, especially with romance, you kind of have to suck it up a little bit.
We'll DNF a book at like 40%.
Oh, I don't
care.
No,
not at all. Like, especially if it's Kindle Unlimited, what do I have to lose?
Oh, love
Nothing,
Kindle Unlimited.
You know?
But yeah. Okay, what's your favorite place to read?
My bed.
Same.
You know, I just
We're saying that as if it's like so crazy.
No, I think there's people that love to read on their couch or like at a coffee shop, outside. No, I would take reading in my bed over reading anywhere else. Like even,
So I love to read on my bed. However, I also have read like reading, this is so specific. So not on a beach daybed, but if I'm on a beach vacation that has a nice balcony where I feel the heat balminess and
but you're in like a shady.
Yeah, like it's not too hot, but I feel the warmth. Because I've had that twice in my life.
Yeah.
And it was like ever since having a Kindle, and it was beautiful.
It was beautiful.
Yeah. And like honestly on the daybed too, like I remember last summer I ordered coffee, then I ordered a cocktail, then I ordered fries, and all of those and a fruit plate, all those snacks coming to me when like the weather was beautiful and I had my Kindle there. It was perfection.
No, incredible. When I read in that instance, like on a daybed, I fall asleep. I don't know what it is.
I did take a nap.
So relaxed. I'm so relaxed that I will fall asleep and then I'll get up and be like, ooh, do I want fruit? Do I want a coconut water? Do I want an iced coffee? Or do I want a margarita? You know? And then I'll have another like beverage, and then guess what? Get in the water for a little bit, and then I'll go back to napping. So I'm so relaxed on a daybed, especially if I'm like in complete shade and there's like a little breeze. We're getting very much into like the minutia of things. So, okay, this is how particular Saanya and I are about our books. So we hope that helps.
What's your favorite book that you recently read?
Okay.
Do you have one?
Do you have one?
I do.
What is it?
Shall I say it?
Yeah.
Okay, so I have a notes like list on my phone of books, 2 actually. Books to read, so my TBR, and then books I've read.
Right.
And I keep a list by myself. I don't rely on Goodreads because this just happened to me last year. Goodreads, my goal was 50 books and they said that I had only read 49. And I went through my personal list versus Goodreads. And I specifically remember adding the rating to this book that they did not count on their end that I had on my list. And I remembered rating it. So I don't know why it was effing up, but I had to go and fix that. And then I knew, like, I got to my 50 goal. So I keep my list, and I have so many books on there. And I put, like, the star emoji on the standouts, stellar books, like 10 out of 5. And the last one that I put the star next to is actually a Shelf Sisters book.
Same. That is okay. I wonder if we have the same one.
I think it probably will be. This book Will Bury Me by Ashley Winstead.
No,
is it
that's
the same?
not mine, but that is stellar.
It was so good, and I like seriously think about it every few days. It's a book that just like encompass true crime in the way that I used to absorb it. Like when I listen to podcasts now, like I'm too paranoid, but whenever I did, they just brought up so many things that I learned during that time. And to read it in a book and just like, it was so good. Like,
no,
it was so freaking good.
I actually recommended that to someone on Sunday because they wanted a
Did
true
they start
crime
it?
book.
Do you know?
I don't think she
they
started
wanted
it.
Specifically a true crime book.
And I was like,
you need to follow up and be like,
I'll see her again next week. So I'm going to ask her and be like, and then listen to the Shelf Sisters episode about it. But no, mine is also a Shelf Sisters book. I think it was our November book, The Heiress. You guys.
Oh my God. That's like so
I know.
crazy.
I think about that book.
It was really good.
It was the perfect setting. Another thing that you should know about Saanya and I, we fall in love with the setting of books.
That's like half the book for us.
It is half the book. That is the main character for us always. So that setting was perfection, and just like family dynamics and books about that, and like wealthy heiress and coming for her fortune, her legacy. Like that is my type of book.
Yeah.
Obsessed. I think that was my favorite one so far.
Wow.
Which we talked about in December too, like what was our favorite Shelf Sisters pick from the year, and that was one of mine. But I think we've been doing such a good job like
Of
selecting
them,
books
right?
because they're
I hope
all
this one
so
doesn't
good.
fail us.
I don't think it will. I think it's just like a departure for us in July.
Yeah.
But I think it'll still be like
It'll
a
be
great
good.
read.
I need to request it on Libby Stat.
I'm gonna have to
Stat.
buy it because I haven't
do
gotten
that
a freaking
every
library
month.
card.
Oh my
Also,
God.
if you don't know, I discovered Libby shortly after getting my Kindle, and
You basically input your library card onto the Libby app, and they give you a certain amount of holds.
you get like
and
6 holds. Yeah.
It depends on the card. So I have 8, and if you
What?
add in more cards, you get
okay.
more holds.
Okay.
But I only have the one.
Okay,
But,
I only had one from
and it gave you 6.
Austin. Yeah, and it gave me 6. And like now that I'm no longer
An
a
Austin resident.
I'm no longer an Austinite. My card expired and I need to get a new one, but I haven't done that yet. So I need to do that. But I
It's
think
so
it's
helpful. If you
the
don't
best app on my phone, like by far.
Yeah,
So
like
great.
Kindle Unlimited is amazing, but for Libby, like not all books are on Kindle Unlimited, and so you can just request them, like place a hold on Libby, and eventually it
You'll
shall
get
be
it.
your turn.
And even the books that we pick like each month, we announce them early in the month and we release the episode at the end of the month. So you guys have enough time to like request it on Libby as soon as we announce it.
Yeah,
And
and
then
we are
have
trying
it.
to just like do it even earlier
Yes,
to help
yeah.
that situation. So
Because honestly,
not
books get
everyone's
pretty
buying.
expensive.
Yeah.
And so we want you
But
guys
then
to like
it's
request
also
it on
like if you
Libby.
think about it, it's like 1 or 2 coffees a month if you want to buy and follow up.
For sure, but I get a coffee
Follow
every
with
day,
it.
so like I really can't say that. Mom, if you're listening, I'm sorry. So
Okay, that was the last question for
Yay.
like our introduction little Q&A.
I know. If you guys have more questions for us, let us know. And of course, like our July book club episode will be released at the end of the month. So you'll get to see our faces.
Yes, but Sarah, you're acting like
Yeah.
we're ending it. We still
No,
have
we're not.
another
Okay.
section.
I know. Okay, I know, but
Oh,
I'm just
okay,
telling
okay.
them like they'll be able to see our faces, and like if they have
Gotcha.
questions, they can ask us more questions.
I thought you were about to say like
we do our-
sayonara. I was
No,
like,
no.
girl.
We do check our Instagram DMs like very often, and
Oh yeah, if you want to send us
if you
like
guys
a
wanna
DM
send
or
us,
something,
yeah,
slide
if you have
in
any
our
questions,
DMs.
or if you even have feedback about the books that we've selected, or if you have recs for future ones, we would love to hear. We would love.
That would make our lives like so much
Honestly,
easier.
it helped us a
That's
lot.
why-
Like in July, because we put in 2 of
A
our
poll.
tops. Yeah, we put
Yeah.
a poll for Elin Hilderbrand books because we're like, it is July, it's a summer read, but we want more substance. So Elin Hilderbrand, it is. We're down to 2 books, and we asked listeners, and that's how we got to 28 summers. So we love that feedback and just like hearing from people.
Okay, next up, we're going to chat about our current reads real quick.
Oh my
And then
gosh.
that is it for the
I
Bookish
know,
episode of
Bookish.
July.
Yeah.
Sehrish, would you like to go first? I really feel like you're about to judge me for
No,
my
I'm not.
current
I'm not going
reads.
to judge you because,
Okay.
okay, you guys. So the person who I recommended this book would marry me to over the weekend, she recommended a book. So she was a part of a book club a couple of years ago, and the book that she recommended has a 4.47 stars on Goodreads, which is
Wow.
honestly unheard of. Like, I don't think
That
I've
is
read a book
crazy.
that has this high of a rating, and it's so niche, I would say. It's like an international read, but Lost in Beirut. So Beirut is Lebanon, but it's a true story of love, loss, and war. And yes, it's kind of like historical fiction, but it kind of has like romance tied to it. So let me read like the first 2 sentences of the summary. I started it 2 days ago, I think, and I think I'm like 20% in.
Oh, wow.
So
I
far,
didn't know that.
so good. And honestly, I think this is going to be a pretty high rating for me, just the way it's written. But the first few sentences: travel with Ashe to Lebanon to help organize a 50-cent concert at the invitation of his best friend. There, he falls in love with a beautiful billionaire and the country itself. But when war breaks out, this idyllic romance is interrupted and Ashe is forced to flee for his life. Through the tumultuous experience, he discovers the depths of its own strength and resilience and emerges from the flames of war at a transformed and awakened soul.
I can't believe you're going from this book to 28 Summers.
I know, but I needed this as like,
Okay.
you know how we say palate cleansers? I need a palate cleanser from the romances, and I came to Lost in Beirut. So honestly, it tracks for me. But I'm very excited, and I'll report back in our book club
Please
episode
do.
because it's so far really good, and I like the writing.
Okay, love.
Okay.
We're seriously like on opposite ends of the spectrum.
Okay.
I'm like worried about what I'm about to say. Okay, I am rereading. I knew I was gonna get a reaction out of you after saying reread. Sinners Anonymous by Somme Sketcher. And it's a mafia book. And Sehrish, I can't. Like,
why
I
are you
can't.
rereading a mafia romance?
Okay, let me explain. So first, after we read Summer in the City by Alex Astor, that was our like June book club pick. I read like it wasn't mafia, but it was like a dark romance, and it was so bad. Like, I don't recommend. It's called Beautiful Venom by Rena Kent. Like I really like don't know what you're doing with these plots. Anyway, the only reason I finished it was because they had like a secret society aspect to it, which is what I love in a book. Mm-hmm. So I just wanted to see how that plot like unfolded. So I kept going with it, but I rated it 2 stars on Goodreads, like, which should show you how bad it was, because me and Sehrish are very generous with our Goodreads ratings. Mm-hmm. But anyway, so it just like gave me the itch for it, and so I tried like 5 different ones, DNF'd all of them. The writing was so bad. And then I remembered, so Somme Sketcher, I am obsessed with this duet that she has, and it's part of this like Sinners Anonymous series. But it's like the next 2 books after this one that I'm currently reading. That, and by the way, I've talked about this before, so you should know, like, I'm obsessed. Sinners Condemned and Sinners Consumed are like the 2nd and 3rd books of the series. I'm currently rereading the first one, Sinners Anonymous, because when I first read it, like, it didn't click with me. I gave it like a 3 on Goodreads.
When did you read it?
This was like a few years ago.
Okay.
And I like couldn't remember why I didn't like it. And I saw some like book talk TikToks about it, and everyone was loving it like recently. And I was like, why didn't I like this book? And this was when I was trying to like find like a dark romance or like mafia or something. And I was like, let me try to reread, because I seriously don't recall anything that happens in this book. And it's so good. Like, I don't know why I didn't like it in the first place.
You gave it a 3 stars on Goodreads?
Last time,
okay.
Yeah. And I started reading it, and first of all, like right off the bat, the writing is 1,000 times better than any other like book that I had DNF'd before this one. And the plot is so good. I will say now I'm at 60% of it, and I'm kind of starting to understand maybe why I gave it 3 stars. And I think it was probably solely based on like the spicy scenes.
Okay.
And you know, overall, I recommend this book if you're like into dark romance, but just know, like, if you're reading those, I don't subscribe. I just like put me out of your mind. Like, when you're reading that, like, if you're reading it and thinking like, how did Saanya read this? I didn't. I'm skipping it. And I'm just praying that I don't miss like a big plot that happens during
That's dangerous.
I tried to skim like whatever I saw in quotation marks, but every time I read it, I was like, this is so cringy. So I will say she has been a great author, but besides the spicy scenes in this book specifically, it is so weird. Like, I can't.
My God.
So I'm just ignoring that part. But I'm really liking the rest of it, and it's making me want to like reread these other 2.
The second one? Oh my,
but I'm not going to.
I knew you were going to say
I'm
that.
not going to until maybe like a year from now, because I already did forget a good amount of it, but I kind of want to clear my head like fully from it before rereading.
Okay.
But yeah, it's Sinners Anonymous by Somme Sketcher. And then the 4th book in that series, Sinners Atone. Atonement is there's no release date for it right now, but she did say on her Instagram that she sent over like a copy or something
manuscript?
to her publisher.
Okay.
I don't know what stage,
Of
but
the
I'm
editing?
guessing
Yeah.
it's towards the end if she's
Okay.
sending it to her publisher. So hopefully we'll get a release date soon. I'm so excited for that book. I'm also so happy that I'm reading this book because she gives some clues and backstory about the brother that the fourth book is about that I would not have remembered had I not read this book.
This wasn't a mafia book that you recommended it to me, but it was also like brothers, but it was like a billionaire romance.
Which one?
About 3 brothers, and I'm forgetting it now. But
Wow.
I thought like that was one of the recs that I actually took from you for like those romances, and it was decent.
I think I know what you're talking
Like,
about.
it just,
A
like,
Not So Meet Cute by
I'm
Megan
sure,
Quinn.
like it just like scratched the
I
itch,
think it was
you know, a
2
little
brothers.
bit. Oh, maybe, but yeah,
I think I know what you're talking about
I did
because
read that
you.
one, yeah, but I
yeah.
can't do mafia like
No, I
romances,
know,
so
but
that's fine.
I feel there is definitely a very niche audience for that, which I'm a part of. And if they
Which
are
I'm a part
listening, if they are listening, like I'm here for you guys.
Oh my God, I love it. Well, listen, at Shelf Sisters Podcast, you get a wide array of recs. She's doing double peace signs right now. Like,
Peace out,
you're
guys.
welcome. But I think that about sums it up. So we will do another book club episode at the end of July. And
Let's see when that is coming out, actually. So this is going to be released July 10th. So our book club episode should be released July 24th. And we'll
Yeah.
be discussing 28 Summers by Elin Hilderbrand. So
Love
can't wait
it.
to chat about that with you guys. Let us know how you're liking it. Hopefully we/you picked a great one.
Yeah, hopefully it's well.
Yes. Okay. Love ya. Bye.
Bye.